The 9060 XT is out, and AMD has copied NVIDIA's idea to continue selling an 8GB version of the 60 class card. It's got RDNA 4, 2048 cores. It has 128 TMU, 16 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM on a 128-bit bus, or 8 gigs on a 128-bit bus. The $300 for the 8GB version, or it's $350 for the 16GB version. The 16GB
Never mind
card,
that the difference in price is like a few bucks between 8 and 16 gigs of RAM these days.
The craziest point to me.
Just make the good one.
Yeah, like,
yep.
Oh man,
so much, dude. This is like a huge part of why we even build some of the products that we do on LTT Store. Because the other options, honestly, are like fine, or they could have been fine if they just spent another like 73 cents. Like the difference in cost between making the cheap, crappy one and making the good one is so small sometimes. It drives me bananas. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, big time though, seriously. And like really like going through the work of having multiple SKUs and multiple marketing and everything for this, like really? I don't know.
Well, the margin is way better on that 8 gig crappy one. Yeah. Because the difference in cost is like a few bucks, and the difference in actually, no, that doesn't even make any sense. No, the margin's way better on the other one. So why do they even buy? I get it. Okay, we're making it more accessible at a lower price point to gamers who can't afford $350, and that's a justification. But like, oh my God, this is like what's that? The famous thing with the boots, the rich man and the boots and the poor man, boots, rich, poor, something.
It is
Boots theory.
Boots theory, yeah.
Boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. They are selling poor people crappy boots that break down, and I hate it.
Crappy boots that break down because you can't play games that would fill the frame. Sure, okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because it's not going to last as long.
The card's not, yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, it's not future-proof. Whereas the rich gamer can afford the more future-proof card, and they don't have to upgrade as soon. This is totally Boots theory.
Yeah.
I feel like you're giving me a hard time about this, but I don't understand why. This is Dan, back me up here.
I think it's just like
I think, yeah, like if you really stretch it, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're only saving $50. That's the thing. Is you're not even saving that much for the amount of time less that you're going to get out of it.
$50 is quite a bit.
It's quite a bit to some markets.
Yes, okay. Yes, but it's relative.
We've had this debate before, haven't we? Yeah.
$50 is 1/7 of the price of this product.
And that's where you get into Boots theory, is because maybe
and that's where you get into Boots theory. Yeah. Because if the one that costs $50 more can last, for being a 7th more expensive or a 6th more expensive, if it can last 30% or 40% longer, then that's the better value. And that's why the person who can afford more today ultimately gets screwed over less. That's Boots theory.
I think the reason why the Boots theory thing starts to break down for me.
I get it.
What is he going to say? Because he probably knows.
No, I was going to say I get it. The Boots theory breaks down, because that's the whole Boots theory, is that they break down.
Remote ding.
I don't even want to, like, I genuinely don't want to explain anymore. Not because, like, oh, he cut me off or anything, but just because that was actually, like, so good that I feel like we should just move on. That was actually great. And I'm just okay with it. And we should move on.
Linus wins WAN show again.
That was actually fantastic.
Well, I had to win something today. I think I'm losing something else based on Luke's secret topic. But why don't we get through this one first?
You were also late as well.
Yeah. See, maybe you lost twice.
Taking those already. L's.
That's why they call me L. Sebastian.
Oh. No bell for you that time.
It's actually because my name's Linus.
Oh, my God. Despite reception and recent praise for AMD when it comes to gamers, or at least the vocal ones, apparently none of the other ones, they have lackluster Yeah, exactly. They have lackluster graphics card market share, according to the Steam hardware survey. The first discrete AMD GPU to appear is the RX 6600, one spot below the RTX 4090. AMD claims that the RX 9070 XT's week one sales beat previous gens by 10x, but a couple months later, it's still not even on the Steam hardware survey. NVIDIA is also claiming record gaming revenue, but it only accounts for 8.5% of their total revenue, as data center sales have just completely taken off.
We don't need to see the graph again. I've seen the graph enough.
Yeah, and Intel's we're not even talking about their inclusion, sadly. NVIDIA is also claiming record... Wait,
yeah, you already
wrong
said
line. Discussion question. Will we ever see reasonably priced GPUs again? Here are the price categories from AnandTech's... Whose idea was this? Because this was brilliant. From AnandTech's 2008 GPU Holiday Buyer's Guide. Adjusting for inflation, $130 then would be $194 now, and $300 for the Stuntin category, which I'm going to share in a moment, would be $447 today. And then check out this screenshot.
This is wild. The People's Performers at $100 to $130, which would be under $200 today.
Ridiculous. 130 to 180. I remember trying to build a computer when I was probably like, I don't know, 14 or 15. And I remember having a conversation with a guy that I worked with, because I had jobs from when I was really young, about components. And he was like, all the important components, and what I think he meant was like, CPU, GPU, probably drive at that point in time. He was like, spend about $100. I'll never forget that conversation, because he wasn't even that far off. And that's just impossible now. But yeah, it caps out at, well, not really, because it says plus, but Stuntin is 300 plus, and it says single and multi GPU graphics solutions.
Yep. 2008, baby. What a time to be alive.
It was a good time.
Now you literally cannot get anything that is branded gaming. So I'm talking RTX, whatever. Like you can get cards that are GT whatever, but you're not going to get the X on it. You're not going to get the like gaming class cards the way that they categorize them, for less than what would have been Stuntin in 2008.